Darkness filled the alien ship. The air inside was cold, heavy, and full of metal dust. Rows of alien soldiers stood in silence, waiting for their commander to speak. Their faces were full of pride. They had done something no one in the galaxy had ever dared to do. They had captured human children. The soldiers whispered among themselves, their sharp teeth showing as they laughed. To them, it was a victory greater than destroying a city or conquering a planet. Humans were feared across the galaxy, not for their numbers, not for their technology, but for something else, something darker. No one ever spoke of it directly, but everyone knew one rule: never touch a human child. Yet, these soldiers had done exactly that. In a locked chamber at the center of the ship, 3 small human children sat quietly. Their wrists were bound with glowing cuffs. Their eyes, wide with confusion, moved from one alien face to another. They didn't cry. They didn't scream. They only stared, silent and still. And that silence was more terrifying than any scream. The alien commander, General Kor, entered the chamber. His scales shone under the dim lights, and his large black eyes blinked slowly as he studied the children. He was taller than most of his soldiers, and his armor was marked with red stripes that showed his rank. "So small," he said in a cold, echoing voice. "So weak. And yet, the galaxy fears them." One of the soldiers stepped forward. "General, should we inform the High Council? They may want to use these children as bargaining tools against humanity." General Kor gave a sharp laugh. "Yes, imagine the humans bowing to us. Imagine them begging for the lives of their own offspring. The galaxy will finally see that humans bleed like everyone else." The chamber filled with low, cruel laughter, but deep in the shadows, far from the sound of their pride, a quiet whisper spread. Soldiers in the lower ranks muttered to each other when the commander was not listening. They had heard stories of what happened to those who harmed human children. Entire fleets had vanished. Colonies had turned to ash. No one knew the details. No one ever returned to tell the full truth. Only one thing was certain: the humans never forgave. The ship drifted through space, far from human territory. The aliens thought they were safe. They thought Earth would never know what had happened here. But they were wrong. In the control room, a soldier monitoring the ship's sensors froze. His claws trembled as he stared at his screen. "General," he whispered. There's something." Kor turned sharply. "What is it?" The soldier pointed to the glowing monitor, a transmission from the children's restraints. "It activated by itself the moment we captured them. It's sending a signal." The room fell silent. "A signal?" the commander growled. "To where?" The soldier swallowed hard. His voice cracked. "Earth. Directly to Earth." The laughter stopped. Every alien in the room stared at the screen, their pride replaced with sudden fear. Far away, in the deep dark of the galaxy, the signal reached human space. It was short, only a few seconds long, but it carried everything that mattered. Location, identity, the truth. The humans now knew. Back inside the alien ship, the soldiers tried to calm themselves. "It does not matter," one said quickly. "Even if Earth knows, what can they do? We are far from their territory. They cannot reach us here." General Kor nodded, trying to hide his unease. "Yes, they cannot send an army across the stars so quickly. And by the time they come, it will be too late. We will already have broken the will of their people." But his words felt empty, even to him. Hours passed. The children still did not speak. They sat together, unmoving, like statues. Their silence was unnatural, heavy, and suffocating. The soldiers avoided looking directly at them. Some felt as if the children's eyes were burning through their armor. One soldier finally snapped. He stepped forward and shouted, "Why do you not cry? Why do you not beg for your parents? You are prisoners. You are weak." The smallest child slowly lifted his head. His eyes were dark, almost black in the dim light. And then, for the first time, he spoke. "You made a mistake." The soldier froze. "What? What did you say?" The child tilted his head slightly, his voice calm and steady. "You made a mistake." The words echoed in the chamber, soft but heavy. The aliens shifted uneasily, their laughter gone. In the command room, alarms suddenly blared. Red lights filled the ship as the sensors screamed warnings. "Unknown signatures detected," shouted a soldier. "Where?" Core demanded. "Everywhere," the soldier replied, panic in his voice. They are surrounding us." The commander rushed to the main screen. His blood ran cold. Dozens of shapes appeared on the radar, closing in fast. "Impossible," Core whispered. No human fleet could travel this far, this fast. But the truth was there, glowing on the screen. Human warships, silent, massive and deadly, were closing in. The soldiers scrambled, their confidence shattered. Some shouted orders. Others tried to prepare weapons, but their hands shook. How did they find us? One cried. Another answered in a broken voice. "The children." The children called them. Inside the chamber, the three children sat quietly. Their eyes glowed faintly now, as if reflecting the light of the warships outside. The smallest one whispered again, "They are coming." And then faintly, the walls shook as the first human warship arrived. Outside, in the darkness of space, the alien ship was no longer the hunter. It was the prey. The humans had arrived, and the galaxy would soon remember the rule it had tried to forget: never touch a human child. The alien ship floated in silence. The lights inside flickered as if the metal beast itself knew what was about to happen. Soldiers stood frozen at their stations, staring at the red alarms that screamed across every screen. General Core paced the command bridge, his claws clicking against the steel floor. His voice thundered, "Hold your positions. Prepare the weapons. The humans cannot be here. It is impossible." But deep inside, even he did not believe his own words. The radar showed dozens of signatures. Massive ships, larger than anything his species had ever built, were moving closer. They made no sound, no warning, just silent predators crossing the void. One soldier whispered, "General, this is not possible. Human territory is weeks away. How did they come so fast?" Core spun on him, eyes blazing. "They are tricks of the scanner, illusions. We are safe." But before he could say more, the bridge speakers crackled. Static filled the air, heavy like thunder before a storm. Every alien froze. Slowly, the static shaped itself into a voice. It was human.com, cold, terrifying. "You took our children." The voice was deep, steady, and carried no emotion. Yet the weight of those words pressed down on every soldier like chains around their necks. "You think we will negotiate? You think we will beg? No, there will be no bargain. There will be no mercy." General Core felt his throat tighten. He had fought in dozens of wars, crushed colonies, and destroyed fleets, but this voice shook him to his core. The message continued, "We are coming, and nothing in this galaxy can stop us." The transmission ended. Silence filled the bridge. For a long moment, no one moved, no one breathed. The words echoed in their minds again and again, "No mercy." "We are coming." In the lower decks of the ship, soldiers whispered to each other in fear. Their pride from earlier was gone. "I told you," one muttered. "I told you the stories were true." Another hissed back, "But they are only children. It cannot mean war over three small ones." "You do not understand," the first soldier snapped. "Humans do not see children as weak. They see them as everything. They will burn worlds for them. They will end species for them." The soldiers? Voices trembled, and even the strongest among them dared not laugh. Meanwhile, the children still sat quietly in their locked chamber. They had not moved for hours, Yet their eyes seemed older now, heavier, as if they already knew what was happening outside. The middle child, a girl with short dark hair, finally spoke. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper. "They heard us." The youngest nodded, his small hands resting calmly in his lap. "They're close now." The eldest, a boy with sharp eyes, turned his head toward the steel walls as if he could see through them. "They are already here." The alien guards outside the chamber shifted uneasily, though they did not understand the human language fully. Something about the children's tone filled them with dread. On the bridge, General Kor struggled to regain control. "Listen to me," he roared. "We are the hunters, not the hunted. Humans are few. We are many. Our fleets stretch across this sector. They cannot face us in open war." But even as he spoke, one of the bridge screens lit up. It showed a distant view of space. Outside, and there it was. A human warship dotted emerged from the void like a shadow made of steel, massive and silent. Its surface shimmered with black armor, edges sharp like blades. No engine flames, no bright lights, only the chilling shape of death itself drifting closer. The alien crew gasped. Kor clenched his fists. "One ship. That is all they send against." "US, then let them taste our fire." "General," cried a soldier, "there are more." On the radar, new signatures appeared. 2, 5, 10, 20 human ships, each one as terrifying as the first, closing in from every direction. The commander's chest tightened. This cannot be real." The comms crackled again. Another human voice filled the room. This one sounded younger, but no less dangerous. "Return them." The word was singular, sharp, like a blade against the throat. The soldiers looked at each other. None dared answer. The voice repeated, louder this time. "Return them, or we return you to the void." General Kor slammed his fist against the console. "No, we will not surrender. Prepare all weapons. Target the closest ship." The crew obeyed, though their hands shook. Energy cannons lit up, missiles primed, targeting systems locked on. The bridge filled with the hum of deadly power. "Fire!" Kor roared. The alien ship unleashed its fury. Dozens of beams and rockets flew across space, blazing like a storm of fire. For a moment, the crew felt relief. For a moment, they thought their weapons would destroy the humans. But then, the warship vanished. It did not explode. It did not break. It simply disappeared, like a shadow swallowed by deeper darkness. The weapons hit nothing. Where did it go? A soldier screamed. Before anyone could answer, the ship reappeared. Not far away. Not damaged. Closer. The humans had moved, instantly, effortlessly. The alien crew stared in horror. Then, another human message came through. This time, the voice was almost mocking. "You think your weapons matter? You think fire can scare us? We are the fire." On planets across the galaxy, other species listened. Hidden observers tuned into the battle, their satellites catching the transmissions. They whispered to each other in fear. They touched human children. "They are doomed. No army survives that." The galaxy had seen human wars before, but always under rules, always with some control. This was different. This was personal. And everyone knew what that meant. Back on the alien ship, General Kor felt the weight of his mistake. His soldiers avoided his eyes. Their courage was gone, and only fear remained. He looked at the children on the screen, small, silent, watching. His voice cracked as he whispered to himself, "What have we done?" The youngest child inside the chamber tilted his head again. His words were soft but carried through the silence like thunder. "They are here." And as if answering his voice, the human fleet lit up the darkness. Their engines roared like storms. Their weapons glowed brighter than suns. And every alien on that ship knew the truth. The message had been delivered. The humans were coming, and nothing could save them now. The alien flagship drifted in the void like a dying beast. Its massive body trembled as alarms screamed through every deck. Red warning lights flashed again and again, painting the corridors in a glow of panic. General Kor stood frozen on the bridge. His claws dug into the metal rail before him. His soldiers waited for orders, but even their commander had no plan. The humans were here, not one ship, not two, a fleet. Silent, patient, and deadly. Their dark warships moved like predators circling. Wounded prey. For the first time in his life, Kor understood fear. A voice came over the comms again, calm, cold. You took what was ours. Now we take everything. The words echoed in every corner of the ship. Soldiers trembled. Some gripped their weapons so tightly their claws bled. Others prayed quietly in their own language, whispering to gods who would not answer. General. One officer whispered, "What do we do?" Kor forced himself to stand tall. His pride fought against the terror in his chest. We fight. Humans bleed like all others. Ready the fleet. The soldiers obeyed, though their eyes showed only doubt. In the vast black outside, hundreds of alien ships turned their weapons toward the approaching shadows. Missiles armed, plasma cannons charged. Fighters launched like swarms of insects ready to attack. The alien commander raised his arm. Fire! The darkness lit up. A storm of weapons raced across space. Explosions bloomed like false suns. The aliens roared, their voices trembling with desperate hope. But then, the screens cleared, and every roar died in their throats. The human ships were untouched. Not one scar. Not one flame. The missiles had vanished before impact, as if swallowed by the void itself. The crew stared in horror. Impossible. They destroyed nothing. It's like they weren't even there. Suddenly, one of the smaller alien ships screamed across the comms. They're inside. The message cut off. A camera feed appeared on the screen. Inside the small vessel, shadows moved. Human soldiers, armored in black, tore through the corridors like phantoms. There. Weapons were silent but absolute. Aliens screamed, but one by one, the lights inside the ship flickered out. Then, darkness. The feed ended. The alien bridge fell silent. General Kor gritted his teeth. They boarded? Already? Another officer shouted, "General, more ships. Our fleet is falling one by one." On the radar, alien ships blinked out of existence. Not destroyed in fire, not shattered into debris, just gone, as if the void had swallowed them whole. Whispers spread among the crew. They are hunting us. They are shadows. They are everywhere. In the prison chamber, the children still sat quietly. The guards could no longer look at them. Their silence was worse than any scream. The eldest child finally lifted his head. His voice was calm, too calm for someone so young. They started. The guards shivered. One dared to ask, who started what? The boy's dark eyes met his. The hunt. Meanwhile, in the corridors of another alien cruiser, the hunt unfolded. Human special forces moved like ghosts. Their armor absorbed light. Their weapons made no sound. Doors that should have been locked simply opened for them. The aliens fired desperately, but their bullets bent, their beams scattered. Every shot missed a dot, then came the humans' response, quick, merciless. One strike, one kill. An alien officer ran, his claws clicking wildly against the floor. He reached for the emergency beacon. Just before his hand touched it, a shadow fell over him. A human soldier stood there, silent. The officer's heart froze. He tried to speak, but the soldier only tilted his head slightly, like a predator studying. Weak prey. Then everything went black. Back on the flagship, General Kor watched in disbelief. One by one, the fleet was disappearing. Not in battles of glory, but in silence. No wreckage, no survivors, just absence. What are they doing? He demanded. Where do our ships go? No one answered. No one knew, but deep in their hearts, they feared the truth. The humans weren't just killing them. They were erasing them. Another message came over the comms. This time, it was not a voice. It was laughter. Children's laughter, high-pitched, innocent, but twisted into something terrifying in the silence of space. The aliens clutched their ears, trying to block it out. But it was inside their minds now. Humans had turned their own children's voices into a weapon. On the bridge, one soldier broke down. "We cannot win. We must give them back. Please, General, let us surrender." Kor struck him down with a single claw. "Coward, we are warriors." Before he could finish, the lights on the bridge flickered, and then went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Whispers filled the air. Not alien whispers, human, cold, sharp breaths. Shadows moved at the edges of the bridge. The crew raised their weapons, firing wildly into the dark. But when the lights flickered back on, half the soldiers were gone. No bodies, just gone. General Kor's chest tightened. He could barely breathe. He felt it now. The humans were not fighting a war. They were hunting. In the prison chamber, the youngest child smiled for the first time. "They're close now." The girl whispered, "Closer than they think." And the eldest nodded. Soon, panic spread across the alien flagship. Soldiers ran through corridors, weapons shaking in their claws. They heard footsteps behind them. But when they turned, nothing was there. They fired at shadows, screaming. But the shadows did not bleed. One by one, their screams cut off. The humans were inside. On the bridge, the radar showed the truth. Out of hundreds of ships, only a handful remained. The human fleet still looked untouched, silent, and patient. Like hunters playing with prey before the final kill. General Kor fell to his knees. His pride was gone, his army gone, his hope gone. "We should never have touched them," he whispered. "Not the children. Never. The children." But it was too late. The comms lit up one last time. A human voice whispered, so soft that every alien had to hold their breath to hear it. "The hunt ends when you do." Then, the flagship shook violently. The humans had come. The hunt was over. The slaughter was about to begin. The alien flagship shook as if the void itself had turned against it. Sirens screamed, walls cracked, and the crew stumbled across the bridge. Every heartbeat was filled with terror. General Kor clutched the rail, his eyes wide, his scales pale. He had led fleets across galaxies. He had crushed rebellions, destroyed colonies, and slaughtered entire species. Yet never, not once, had he felt this helpless. The humans were inside, not just outside in their warships. Not just shadows hunting the fleet. They were inside his ship, moving through its corridors like phantoms. And nothing stopped them. In the lower decks, the screams of soldiers echoed. Some shouted orders. Others begged for mercy. Then came silence. Cold, complete silence. When the patrol teams went to investigate, they found only empty corridors, weapons on the floor, armor scattered. No bodies. It was as if the humans had erased them from existence. On the bridge, an officer's claws shook as he spoke. "General, our fleet is gone. 90% destroyed. Or worse, we are alone." Kor's throat tightened. No, we still have the flagship. We still have the children. They will need to negotiate with us." But even he knew it was a lie. The humans were not here to negotiate. The crew's eyes shifted nervously toward the screen that showed the prison chamber. The children still sat there, calm, silent, untouched by fear. One soldier whispered, "Maybe if we return them." The commander roared, "Silence! We are warriors, not beggars." But his words rang hollow. Even his own voice trembled. The lights flickered. Every head snapped up. The power cut for 3 seconds, then returned. In that moment, 3 soldiers were gone from the bridge. No one saw them leave. No one heard them scream. They had simply vanished. Panic broke out. What is happening? They are here! They are here! Weapons fired wildly into the shadows. Sparks lit the room. But nothing was there. Nothing except the fear choking them. Suddenly, the main doors of the bridge hissed. The locks disengaged, and then slowly they opened. A figure stepped through. Tall, armored in black. The helmet glowed faintly, reflecting the crimson warning lights. No weapon in hand. None needed. A human soldier. The crew froze, every weapon aimed at him. But no one fired. The air itself seemed to grow heavier, colder. Every instinct screamed that firing would change nothing. General Kor stepped forward, his chest heaving. He forced his voice to sound strong. Human, you cannot win. If you kill us, the Council will come for you. The galaxy will rise against your kind. The soldier tilted his head slightly. No words, no sound, just silence. Kor's voice cracked. We can return them, the children. Take them back. Spare us. And the soldier finally spoke. His voice was low, calm, and merciless. You think this is about the children? The crew shivered. The soldier took a step forward, his boots echoing like thunder. You broke the law, the one law of survival. You touched what is ours, another step. There's no council. No bargain, no galaxy that will stand for you. Another step, there is only reckoning. Kor's legs nearly gave out. Please, we surrender. The soldier stopped. His helmet tilted, as if studying a small, pitiful creature. You do not understand. There is no surrender. His words cut deeper than any blade. In the prison chamber, the children's cuffs clicked open on their own. The glowing restraints powered down, falling to the floor. The guards panicked. They pointed their weapons, shouting, "Stay back!" But the children only stood, calm and steady. Their eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. The eldest spoke. They are here. And then the guards screamed. When the lights flickered again, the children were gone. The guards too, only empty walls remained. Across the galaxy, hidden observers watched in horror. News of the humans' wrath spread like wildfire. Messages whispered through channels, carried on secret frequencies. They touched human children. They are finished. Whole fleets erased. In every council hall, every ruler's chamber, the same thought grew heavy in their minds. If humans would do this for 3 children, what would they do for a world? Back on the flagship, chaos consumed the bridge. The human soldier walked slowly, calmly, through the crew. No one dared fire. No one dared move. One brave officer screamed and shot his weapon. The beam hit the soldier's armor only to vanish like smoke. The soldier didn't even flinch. In the next second, the officer was gone. No scream. No body. Just gone. The crew fell to their knees. Their hope shattered. The human soldier stopped in front of General Kor. Kor trembled, his claws scraping the floor. Please, please, we did not know. We did not understand the law. The soldier leaned closer. His voice was a whisper, but every alien heard it. You knew, everyone knows. You thought you were stronger. You thought you were above consequence. He straightened, his dark armor towering over them. Now you learn the truth. Outside, the human fleet moved. One by one, alien colonies lit up on the radar. Planets burned. Entire star systems went dark. No survivors. No mercy. The reckoning had begun. Inside the bridge, the human soldier raised a single hand. The lights flickered once more. When they returned, General Kor and his crew were gone. The bridge was empty. The flagship floated silently, abandoned. A ghost ship drifting in the void. Far away, in the council chambers of other species, the messages continued. Reports poured in from every sector. The humans were not just avenging their children. They were delivering a message to the galaxy. Touch what is ours, and you will cease to exist. The galaxy trembled. Rulers stayed silent. No one dared speak against humanity now. The humans had vanished back into the dark, but the echo of their words lingered. There would be no surrender, only reckoning. The galaxy trembled. The abduction of the human children was no longer just a crime. It had become a declaration of war. The alien species that had taken them, the Zoroth, were a proud warrior race. They had conquered weaker species for centuries. They believed strength was the only truth. When they captured the group of Earth's children, they thought it was an easy way to study human biology, to mock their enemies, and to break humanity's pride. But the result was the opposite. Galaxy watched in silence as the news spread. The Zoroth have taken human young. They mock Earth. They claim no human can stop them. At first, many alien governments laughed. They thought humanity was still new to the galaxy, still too young to be feared. But then, strange reports began to arrive. Entire Zoroth fleets were vanishing. Outposts were burning. Armies were being crushed in battles no one could explain. It was not chaos. It was not random. It was precise. It was cold. It was humanity's answer. The silence before the storm. The children sat in a dark cell deep within the Zoroth flagship. Their small voices echoed in the steel walls. Some cried, some whispered to each other, and some simply sat quietly, holding hands, waiting. One of them, a girl named Emily, whispered, "They don't understand. They don't know what's coming." The guards laughed at her words. To them, she was just a scared human child. But her eyes were steady, calm in a way that made even the guards uneasy. Far away, across the void of space, Earth was silent. 2. Silent. The Zoroth generals had expected threats, demands, even begging. Instead, they heard nothing. No transmissions. No calls for negotiation. Just silence. And in that silence, fear grew. The hunters' appearance started small. A Zoroth patrol ship failed to report in. Then another. Then entire groups of destroyers disappeared. The only clue left behind was wreckage drifting in space wreckage. That showed terrifying precision. Every engine was cut in the same spot. Every weapon was disabled before it could fire. Every escape pod was destroyed before it could launch. The Zoroth began to panic. They strengthened their fleets, gathered more ships, and prepared for war. But it did not matter. Wherever they went, the hunters followed. Those hunters were human warships, but these were not the sleek diplomatic ships the galaxy had seen before. No, these were vessels humanity had never revealed until now. Dark, massive, and shaped for one purpose only: destruction. The aliens gave them a name whispered in fear: the Ghost Fleet. A message to the galaxy. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. Ambassadors from hundreds of worlds gathered in a great chamber. Many were afraid, whispering, "If the Zoroth are destroyed, humanity will rise too fast. No one will be able to stop them." Others replied, "The Zoroth brought this on themselves. They touched the untouchable." In the middle of the debate, the lights flickered. A transmission cut across the entire council chamber. The screen showed the face of a human admiral. His voice was calm, but sharp like steel. "You allowed this crime," he said. "You allowed human children to be taken. You allowed them to be mocked, chained, and threatened. You laughed. You thought humanity would stay silent." He leaned closer, his eyes hard. "Now you will learn. Humanity never forgets. Humanity never forgives. And when you harm our children, there is no corner of the galaxy that will protect you." The message ended. The chamber was silent. For the first time, many alien leaders understood. This was not about war. This was not about conquest. This was about survival. The children's hope back on the Zoroth flagship. Emily closed her eyes. She could feel it. She could sense something coming closer. One of the boys asked, "Do you think our families will find us?" Emily opened her eyes. "Not just our families, all of them, all of humanity. And when they come, Nothing will stop them. Her words gave the children strength. They stopped crying. They sat together in a circle, waiting, believing. The guards noticed the change. It made them nervous. The first strike, the Zorith fleet carrying the children, never expected to be found. They had hidden in a nebula, confident no scanner could reach them. But then the shadows appeared. A single human battleship emerged from the mist of the nebula. It was huge, black as night, with glowing red lights across its hull. The Zorith panicked. They fired everything: lasers, plasma, missiles. But the human ship did not fall. Its shields bent the fire like waves breaking on stone. Then, with one slow movement, it fired a single shot. The beam was silent, invisible at first, and then entire Zorith cruisers split apart, cut cleanly in two. No explosion, no chaos, just death. The children, locked deep inside the flagship, felt the ship shake. The walls trembled. The guards rushed away. Emily smiled. They're here. The rescue, the human boarding teams were not like any soldiers the galaxy had seen. They wore armor black as night, silent as shadows. Their weapons were not made for intimidation. They were made for precision. The Zorith fought back, but every move they made was predicted. Every shot they fired missed. Every attack was crushed. The human soldiers moved through the corridors until they reached the cell. The door melted under their tools. The children gasped as the soldiers stepped inside. One of them knelt down, his helmet hiding his face. He spoke in a calm voice. "You're safe now. We're taking you home." Tears filled the children's eyes. They ran into the arms of their rescuers. For the first time in days, they felt warmth, safety, and hope. The Zorith's fall. When the children were safe, the human fleet turned its full fury on the Exo-Wrath. No mercy, no hesitation, no survivors. Entire planets that supported the abduction were bombed from orbit. War factories were burned. Spaceports turned to ash. Fleets that had once terrorized weaker species were erased. In hours, the galaxy watched in horror and awe. Humanity was not just fighting. Humanity was erasing an empire. And through it all, one truth echoed again and again. You do not touch human children. The final warning when the war ended. When the Zorith Empire was nothing but ruins, humanity sent one last message to the galaxy. It was short. It was clear. The same admiral appeared again. His voice was quiet, but every world heard it. We do not seek war. We do not seek conquest. But remember this. If you ever harm what is ours again, if you ever touch our children, then we will come. And when we come, you will pray for mercy. But there will be none. The message ended. The galaxy stayed silent. The children's return back on Earth. The children returned home. Families wept, holding them close, refusing to let go. The world rejoiced. But deep inside, every human knew something had changed. Humanity had revealed its true face. The galaxy now understood. Humans were not prey. Humans were not weak. They were the nightmare that waited in the dark. They were the answer to arrogance. They were the storm that would never stop if provoked. And all because someone had made the mistake of capturing their children. The whisper across the stars. From that day on, a new rule spread through every alien world. A whisper, a law, a warning. Never touch the humans young. Never anger their families. Never awaken their wrath. The galaxy learned fear. The galaxy learned respect. And above all, the galaxy learned the truth. Humanity's love for their children was their greatest strength. And anyone who tested that strength would pay the ultimate price.